The morning sun cast long shadows across the market square of New Terra Colony when Noah Grayson noticed them. A dragon mother and her 3 hatchlings huddled near the fountain, their scales dull from malnutrition, their wings folded tight against the cold. The mother's eyes, brilliant amber despite her condition, met his for just a moment before she looked away in shame. Noah's hand tightened around the credit chip in his pocket. 50 units. Everything he'd saved from helping his grandfather on the farm for 6 months. He'd been planning to buy the new VR module everyone at school had been talking about. But those hatchlings looked so small, so fragile. "Excuse me." Noah approached carefully, the way grandfather had taught him to approach the wild horses in the north pasture. "Are you hungry?" The dragon mother, Safra, she said her name was, hesitated before nodding. Her voice was musical despite the weariness in it. "We haven't eaten in 3 days. The colony won't hire dragons for labor anymore, not since the automation protocols came through." Noah didn't hesitate further. He bought every protein bar, every nutrient pack, every bottle of water his 50 units could afford. As he handed them over, Safra's eyes filled with tears that steamed slightly in the cool air. "Why?" she whispered. "Humans usually don't even see us anymore." "My grandfather says kindness isn't about seeing," Noah replied, repeating words he'd heard 100 times. "It's about choosing to care when nobody's watching." Safra placed one taloned hand gently on Noah's shoulder. "You have a warrior's heart, little one. The universe remembers such things." 7 hours later, Noah was helping his grandfather repair a fence when the sky split open. They came without warning, massive vessels that blotted out the sun, their hulls black as the void between stars. The Zikar Dominion had heard about New Terra's rich mineral deposits and decided that humanity's claim meant nothing to a species that had conquered 17 systems. The first plasma strike vaporized the Johnson farm 3 kilometers away. The shockwave knocked Noah off his feet. "The shelter!" grandfather shouted, grabbing Noah's arm. But they both knew the truth. The colony's defense grid was designed for pirates, not a Dominion battle fleet. They had minutes at most. That's when the sky filled with wings. Safra led them, hundreds of dragons, thousands appearing from every corner of the colony. They'd been hiding, surviving in the margins, dismissed and forgotten. But they remembered. More specifically, Safra remembered the small human boy who'd given everything he had. The dragons didn't have weapons, not in the traditional sense. But evolution had given them something far more valuable. They could survive in space. Noah watched in awe as Safra and her kin launched themselves at the Dominion ships. Their scales could withstand plasma fire for precious seconds. Their claws could tear through hull plating. Their breath, superheated plasma generated biologically, could melt targeting systems and shield generators. But it was their intelligence that turned the tide. Dragons had spatial awareness that no human technology could match. They swarmed the Dominion vessels, targeting weak points, coordinating with an elegance that looked like a deadly dance. They used the ship's own weapons against each other, positioning themselves so enemy fire would hit friendly vessels. The battle lasted 17 minutes. When it ended, the Dominion fleet was in ruins and the dragons paid for victory with lives. 23 dragons fell that day, their bodies burning like falling stars. Safra survived, though barely. She landed near the farmhouse, her scales scorched, one wing tattered. Noah ran to her despite grandfather's protests. "You came back," Noah said, tears streaming down his face. "You all came back." Of course, Safra's voice was weak but steady. "You taught me something, Noah Grayson. You showed me that kindness isn't a weakness. It's a strength that echoes. When you gave everything you had to help strangers, you reminded us what we'd forgotten, that we're not just survivors hiding in shadows. We're protectors. We're warriors. We're people who matter." The colony medics arrived, both human and dragon working together now. As they tended to Safra's wounds, other colonists approached the dragons with offerings: food, medical supplies, shelter. The barriers that had existed for years dissolved in minutes. Grandfather knelt beside Noah, his weathered hand on the boy's shoulder. "You know what you did, son? You didn't just save some dragons with your 50 units. You saved all of us, because you reminded everyone, human and dragon alike, that we're stronger together than divided." Noah looked up at the sky where debris still fell like shooting stars. "I just wanted to help. That's what makes it matter," Safra said softly. "You didn't help because you wanted something in return. You helped because it was right. That's the kind of strength the universe needs, Noah. The kind that starts with compassion and grows into something that can change worlds. 3 months later, New Terra Colony had been rebuilt. But it looked different now. Dragon architecture blended with human design, creating something beautiful and unique. Safra became the colony's defense coordinator, her spatial intelligence perfect for the role. Her hatchlings played with human children in the parks, no longer hungry, no longer afraid. And Noah Grayson. He still helped his grandfather on the farm. But now he also studied with dragon mentors, learning their ancient wisdom while teaching them about human resilience. The VR module he'd wanted seemed silly now. He'd spent his 50 units and gained something far more valuable. He'd gained allies. Friends. A future where two species stood together instead of apart. On quiet evenings, when the twin moons rose over New Terra, Noah would sometimes see Safra flying above the farm, her scales gleaming healthy and strong. She'd circle once, twice, a salute, a thank you, a promise. And Noah would wave back, knowing in his heart what his grandfather had always told him. The smallest act of kindness can echo across the universe, changing everything it touches. That's what it meant to be human. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but the ones who chose compassion when it would have been easier to look away. The ones who saw potential where others saw only weakness. The ones who understood that true strength wasn't about standing alone, it was about lifting others up and standing together. The universe, Noah learned, always remembers such things.